What's going on, guys? We're back. And one of the first things that when you see a Cybertruck, you are approached with this massive wheel and tire. So we're going to talk a little bit about the tires itself and the wheel, and we'll show you what it looks like underneath. First of all, this is actually a 20-inch rim wheel underneath this cover. And this cover is pretty cool because I like the construction of it too. It's plastic, and then once you get to the edges, it's actually like a rubber, like a TPU, right? One thing that I'm slightly annoyed about is that they have this little groove that's like perfectly for the Cybertruck, right? This is a Goodyear tire, but it doesn't actually like align. So that's a little bit like OCD, right? However, it still looks freaking good. And I'll talk a little bit about the specs, but this is all, I guess, mud and snow, which is all weather. It has a LT, 285, that's a width. LT stands for light truck. 65 R is aspect ratio, R is a radial tire, and then 20 stands for the 20-inch rims. And then you got 123, 120H, and I'm not a tire wheel expert, and correct me if I'm wrong. They have two of this load, and the H stands for how much speed you can go, and it's like 130, but it's load rating, right? So the 123 stands for how many pounds it can, the load rating is, and the next one is with two tires, so it's a little bit lower in case one like they go down or something like that. Again, this is a Goodyear tire, massive, 35 inches, and there's a lot of clearance. I believe it goes from like 12 to 17. So right now, just so you guys know, the suspension is on entry mode. So it's when you're like getting in and out. So you have like low, mid, and I think there's high. So one thing that's unique, I think, about this Cybertruck, if we're comparing to other trucks, is that this is a 35-inch tire, right? And most trucks aren't going to be this big right off OEM, right? So typically it's like 32, 33, but this is 35. And a lot of times if you want bigger tires, aftermarket, you got to buy it. And you might have to do other things to make it fit, right? Either put some suspension, but this fits perfectly fine, massive amount of clearance. You're gonna be able to do, turns really well because of steer by wire. I love it, I love the look, I think it looks good. I mean, imagine like this Cybertruck, this massive behemoth of a vehicle in like 31. I think that'll make a huge difference, 32 or something like that. That'll make a huge difference, and I just think it'll look a lot less aggressive, right? Personally, I've never owned a truck, right? So once we get our Cybertruck, this will be the first truck that I've owned. And I'm more used to seeing those smaller wheels, right? So like on a S, on a 3, on a Y, this small, This is actually pretty important because this creates, a lot less drag coefficient when it's passing through. So on a heavy vehicle like this, the range I think is 340 on the all-wheel drive. It matters a lot. So let's go ahead and remove this for now, just so you guys can see what's under. You just kind of grab this little triangular area and then pull in a snap. There we go. I got one loose, and then I got the next, and then kind of work your way, and then it removes. And let me just show you the inside right here. It's these clips reinforced by metal that goes all the way around. Normally, in the clips like this on Model Y, Model S, there's always a little hole where the TPMS sensor comes out. In this case, there's not a hole, so you could actually put it however you want. I think this will look sick. Like if you really wanted to remove this, put some lug nut covers, some nice matte black lug nut covers, and then put a little center cap right here with the Tesla logo, I think will look awesome. Or maybe even like the Cybertruck logo right here. That'll look awesome. But when I look at this, I think most people will want to keep this for their range and efficiency. I think we could wrap it. So if you wanted to give it a spoke look, what you could do is like, for example, we're wrapping this in green. I don't know if it'll be too much, but you could put accents of it, right? So you could either wrap here or you could wrap here. So I love the fact that they made it matte black, but I think there's gonna be a lot of opportunities. So we're gonna scan this as well. And then we're definitely gonna come out with some wraps so you could cover pretty much all this area. If you want to cover that, that's really easy. And just like the Cybertruck, it's flat. It's all really, really flat. So love this car. As a vinyl artist, it's a dream. It's a canvas. Okay, so I'm gonna put this safely over in the back so you guys can see the actual wheel. So as you can see right here immediately, it has a very, very similar matte black finish to the tire. Even though the cover was on, obviously things do get in there. It gets pretty dusty in Austin, so that's probably what this is from. This is a 6-bolt pattern, so just comparatively like a Model S, Model 3, all that is a 5-bolt pattern, right? So just keep that in mind. Massive center cap. It will not fit, like your Model S one will definitely not fit in here, so it has to be a different one if you want to put one here. It looks really, really solid. I personally like the look of it, and I really also don't mind the cover. So in ours, we're probably just gonna leave the cover on and do something to the cover itself. But I think it looks really good. I think once you add that cover and then the center cap, it'll look even better. They are still using TPMS sensors. Some manufacturers are not using that anymore. But what I could assume, and this is an assumption, but it's probably the same thing where it's like a BLE, Bluetooth technology, where you'll be able to do it and pretty much sync it from your MCU. So that's probably what it is. But really, really excited to kind of show you these tires and wheel set. Just kind of the OEM look and what it really looks like, how really big the tires are, and how to remove and also put this cap. We have a lot of Cybertrucks in our schedule right now, so make sure you click on that subscribe button. We have content for days around the Cybertruck. We love this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back, and if you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. We'll see you later. All right. But look at that. All right, let's get to work.